This morning, authorities still trying to find answers more than a week now since Nancy Guthrie was reported missing from her Tucson home. Over the weekend, the FBI and sheriff's deputies again extensively searching Nancy's property, yesterday examining what appears to be a septic tank in her backyard, and earlier on the weekend, towing a car out of her garage believed to be Nancy's. Authorities also searching the home of her daughter Annie, a spokesperson saying that was part of the normal course of their case. As investigators continue to search, on Saturday, Savannah posted a new video along with her siblings with this message for their mom's possible captors.
We received your message and we understand. We beg you now to return our mother to us so that we can celebrate with her. This is the only way we will have peace. This is very valuable to us, and we will pay.
3 officials tell NBC News this video is in response to a new note that was sent Friday to a local Tucson TV station. The station saying the message did not include proof of life. NBC News has not seen the new note, and authorities are still trying to verify if it was actually sent by whoever sent an original ransom note last week to the same TV station and other news outlets. It's also still unclear if either note was actually sent by the people behind Nancy's disappearance. The Pima County Sheriff's Office saying there's still no suspect or person of interest in the case. On Sunday, at the church where Nancy worships,
we pray for Nancy's rescue and her release.
The pastor delivering this prayer for her safe return.
And Lord, may she sense deep in her soul our prayers and our love right now, and prayers from this nation and all around the world.
And as the search continues, investigators are continuing to pour through all of the traffic camera footage in the area. They're looking at surveillance footage from local businesses. A spokesperson for Circle K says that law enforcement showed up at one of their gas stations because of a tip about a possible vehicle of interest there. But at this time, there is still no confirmed vehicle of interest. And as you guys know, no suspect now 9 days into this search. Craig.
All right, Liz Kreutz for us there, starting us off from Tucson. Liz, thank you. Also, following the investigation for us, NBC's national law enforcement intelligence correspondent Tom Winter. Tom, we'll get to the vehicle that Liz mentioned in just a moment. Let's start with that video that Savannah posted over the weekend. Third video, heart-wrenching. What can we glean from that particular video, in terms of where the investigation is?
Sure. I think it's important to note what that video doesn't say as much as what it does say. And that video doesn't talk about any sort of deadline today. I know people are focusing on a potential deadline this afternoon, 5 o'clock this afternoon. What's going to come of that? Because that was referenced in the first note. There's no longer any discussion of that. There's a discussion about bring Nancy home to us so we can have a celebration with her. There is no further requests for proof of life. So when you look at this video, you say, what was in that second note? I have not personally seen it, but it does appear that there's been a shift here, or at least a shift in messaging. So we note that. And then as Liz said in her piece, and really this is the big challenge, we cannot stress this enough, the FBI has not come out, the sheriff has not come out, and said that they have tied back this second note from the alleged kidnappers, perhaps, to the first note, or back to this taking of Nancy Guthrie out of her home against her will at all. So that's still part of the investigation. We're told they used very sophisticated means to be able to kind of hide who originally sent this email or this message. It's very difficult.
So with all this going on, we saw investigators at Nancy's house, at her daughter Annie's house. What are they looking for, do you think?
So our understanding of the investigation at this point is this is just a check under every single carpet, behind every single bush. Check every single thing that you can. Conduct additional searches. You know, they take photography. Based on my experience in the past with these investigations, they'll fly over a residence. They'll say, "Hey, did we look behind this, or maybe we should seize that and just double check for any sort of fingerprints and bring it back to our labs and see if there's a chance we can go deeper on it." So that appears to be part of the work. Now, the search at Annie Guthrie's home was a consent search. That was not something where somebody went to a judge. There was some sort of a suggestion of a possible crime, and they needed to go forward with that. I think that's important to remember because, again, they've said, look, there's no suspects that have been identified, no persons of interest identified, but the last people to see Nancy Guthrie were Annie and her husband. They were the ones that dropped her off, and so I think there's a focus there of, like, let's just start at the very beginning and see if there's anything here that we can derive from it. Same thing with taking Nancy Guthrie's car out of the house on Friday night.
Let's go back to what Liz mentioned here, this vehicle of interest. They go to this gas station nearby. to ask about something maybe they saw on a surveillance camera there? What does that tell you?
So what law enforcement is trying to do right now is look for any single clue, because this investigation has gotten very challenging. There is not a lot of clues that are being derived from the evidence. There doesn't appear to be a heck of a lot of evidence either. And so that's really a challenge at this stage of the investigation. So obviously looking for any sort of cars that are on the streets at 2:30 in the morning. This is not a tremendously populated area. There's a lot of street cameras that they have. They've gotten video from that. And so you look and you say, why is that vehicle out at 2:30 in the morning? Now, that might be somebody making deliveries. That might be somebody who knows something about Nancy Guthrie's disappearance. And so you want to run that to ground. And so that's our understanding of this lead, is that they say, well, what's that vehicle out and about? Not maybe a vehicle that we normally see in the area. Can we get some more information on that? Who owns the vehicle? And start to work an investigation from there. It may turn out to be a helpful lead that we're talking about over the next couple of days. It might turn out to be nothing. And that's really where we are. I think it underscores the state of the investigation at this point.
Okay. Right.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, buddy.
Got it.
We're going to bring you, of course, the latest updates throughout the morning. And once again, anyone with any information, call 1-800-CALL-FBI.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can catch the Today Show every morning on NBC, or take Today when you're on the go. Just follow the Today podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.